having this scoreboard thinking actually makes you more easier to control. She can control you easier if she knows that, hey, if I tell him to do X, Y, and Z and dangle this carrot in front of him, he will do X, Y, and Z. And I don't really have to give him anything in return because there's no consequences. You know what I mean? Like, you don't set firm boundaries. You don't tell her no. You don't, remove your time and attention when she's not doing what she's supposed to be doing. You just do what she tells you to do. She doesn't provide, or she doesn't give back what you sort of think is the obligation on her side. And then then all that happens is you get resentment, and then she just loses respect for you because all you do is sit in silence and don't do about it. And you don't have the balls to be more assertive and tell her no and set more boundaries. You understand? She's able to control you now. She knows if she dangles that carrot enough that you'll do more, right? So what are some early warning signs that you're stuck in the cycle without even realizing it? Because a lot of you guys don't know what you don't know, right? Like a frog in a boiling water. If you slowly bring the heat up over time, a frog will let itself boil to death because it just thinks whatever's going on is normal until it's too late and then he's dead. Okay. Well, here's a sign. You're resentful when she doesn't notice your efforts. You put in all this work and she's not noticing all this work that you're putting in. Okay. That's like, if you are expecting someone else to notice all the effort you're putting in, that's kind of validation seeking behavior. I talked about that on Friday too. Wanting that recognition for all your efforts is feminine energy. Wanting that validation is feminine energy. If you know you're doing everything right, if you know you're doing a good job, if you know your bills are paid and you're debt free and you've got your money in order and you got your house in order and all that kind of stuff, you don't need someone to tell you you're doing a good job. You can see it by all the results you're getting. You can validate yourself and be like, man, I'm awesome. One thing that my coach Nikki encourages men to do, especially men in his program, is to have a brag book, right? Have a brag book where you don't have to share it with anybody. No one else has to see it. No one has to think that you're an arrogant prick for bragging about yourself. But a part of men's confidence comes from accomplishments. And if you're expecting everyone else to pat you on the back for your accomplishments, you're always going to be disappointed, right? But if you sit down for like 5 minutes a day and think about like, what are 5 things that I killed it with this week? What are 5 things that I just absolutely own this week, right? And brag about it. Be like, man, I'm awesome. I did this today. I did this on Wednesday. I did this on this day. Like, brag about yourself a little bit. Give yourself some self-validation. You don't need it from the outside world. You know you did a good job. You're tallying who's winning or who's losing, man, when I was married, this is a problem that I had in the relationship. And I didn't know then, right? I didn't study all this stuff. I didn't know what I didn't know. I was a frog in a boiling pot of water. I used to have so much resentment and I was keeping score because I would work my ass off all day. She didn't work. She was a stay-at-home mom, right? Really, she just wanted early retirement. And I would come home and there was still all sorts of shit that needed to be done around the house because she didn't do all day. And so I would end up having to do all these other chores around the house just to make sure I didn't live in squalor. And then that built up resentment because I was tallying it all up. Like, look, I'm not only putting food on the table and put a roof over the head, but I'm also doing your job too. Like that was me keeping score. Okay. And then you end up feeling sort of competitive instead of cooperative. Like you're not helping each other around the house. You're seeing who's doing more for the family, right? And you're keeping score about that. And that ends up being building resentment too. When you start competing with people, you start looking at like, how you can get an edge over them. And you stop looking at them as someone that you enjoy being around. And it's like, how can I beat this person? Well, what kind of loving relationship is that where you have to beat somebody? You know what I mean? And I'm not talking about physical beating. I'm talking about beating in a competition. Here's a sign. You guys get into arguments and you bring up how much you do for the family. I do everything around here. Okay. I take care of this. I take care of this. I get no respect. No respect, I tell you. If that's you in arguments, you're keeping score. Okay. And it's killing your relationship. I want you guys to chew on that for a little bit. In the meantime, consider following me on social media. I'm on all the good platforms. The links are in the description. Guys, I mentioned it before. I have a free ebook on this. It's called She's Made You Weak. It's the top link in the description below. If you guys are watching live right now, I've got it pinned in the top. Okay, get the ebook. She's Made You Weak. You can download it immediately. It talks about exactly why attraction tends to erode in a relationship over time, right? And then when you're ready to do something about it, and not just bitch about it, get my book, Get Her to You Again. It's available on Amazon or Audible. The link's in the description for that too. I have a new book coming out here in June that I got to start working on this here in May, called Forget That Bitch. It's a red pill guide to breakups. So that's why it's pictured right here. But this one here, Get Her to You Again, will tell you how to reverse that betaization process. Let me play a commercial for that, and then we'll get back to the topic at hand today, okay?
Are you tired of the dead bedroom? Wondering what happened to the passion, the connection, and the spark? Well, here's your answer. Introducing Get Her to You Again, a red pill guide to fix a dead bedroom. Now on Amazon. This isn't about manipulation or tricks. It's about real strategies that work. If your wife has stopped being intimate with you, it's not because the love is gone. It's because the attraction is gone, and that's fixable. This book will teach you the skills to lead your marriage, rebuild your confidence, and become the man she can't stop thinking about. 3 reasons to get this book. 1. It breaks the cycle. You'll learn how to stop doing the same things that are killing her attraction and start doing the things that reignite it. 2. It's practical and proven. With clear, actionable steps, you'll build yourself into the man you were always meant to be. 3. It works for men like you. Paul Bauer has helped hundreds of men just like you fix their dead bedrooms. And now, it's your turn. Don't let another day go by feeling frustrated and disconnected. Go to Amazon right now and buy Get Her to You Again. Read it, apply it, and watch your marriage transform. The connection isn't gone forever. You just need the roadmap to get it back. And this book is it.
Erkin says, I bought both yours and Thor's book. Which one to read first? Well, which books did you buy exactly? Because I have 3 books and a 4th one on the way. And Thor also has 3 books now. So he has A Dominant Masculine Presence, which he wrote by himself. He has the Superhero Inside, which I helped him with because of his brain cancer problems. And then Rafe Diantor actually just helped Thor write another book, the I don't know how to pronounce the word, but anyways, Rafe helped him write a book too, and I think it's on its way out too. It might even be out already, at least on Kindle edition. So which books are you referring to? Let's see, what do we got here? I saw Nurse Chick in the house at the top. Nurse Chick's in the house. Nurse Chick, she gets this one.
I'm so naughty.
She is.
I'm gonna come.
You know it. She went with me up to Toronto. It was fun. Nurse Chick, bless her heart, guys. Let me tell you about Nurse Chick for a minute. Nurse Chick is a small town gal. She grew up out here in Western Colorado. Never really traveled until she met a top G like me. And I've taken her to several places now. Like we went to England a couple of years ago. We just went on the Jericho cruise in January, and then we just went to Toronto. But I was in a 3-day seminar. So I would start the morning at like 10 or 11, depending on the day. And I wouldn't be done until like 5 o'clock, 5 or so at night. And so she had all day in Toronto. And so I said, hey, don't just wait around for me in the hotel. Like go out and experience Toronto. Like we're in another country. Like, go live life. And, she's so sweet and innocent. She decides she's going to plan it all out. She gets herself a Uber. She goes out to the aquarium there in Toronto. And then she goes, okay, I'm going to leave the aquarium and I'm going to walk, a couple blocks over to the museum. And Nurse Chick, a little directionally challenged. She ends up getting lost in downtown Toronto. And she ends up in a neighborhood where there's a whole bunch of homeless people. And I guess some homeless guy starts yelling at her, freaks her the out. She runs away, ends up finding a local cop. And she's like, oh, thank God, I'm going back to the hotel. Like she was done. She was done. I was like, what? A homeless guy yelled at you. That's all. Hell, that happens all the time in big cities, she's like, doesn't happen, out in the cow pasture. It's true. There's not a lot of homeless people yelling at you out here in the cow pastures. It's pretty glorious.
New episodes every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Subscribe now.